Speaking of quarterbacks on the move, Justin Fields, guys, there's been really no buzz about this. We were actually shocked in Indy how quiet it's been.
Well, there was one viral video that went out that supposedly Justin Fields' manager posted, that Fields was very excited, and you heard faintly in the background, "Get ready to go home." Something like that, and he's from the Atlanta area, right? And so there was speculation that he was going to Atlanta.
Apparently, it's a very old video now.
Got it.
That's what Pete has informed me.
Debunked, exactly. Yes. It just goes to show you. That's why I didn't retweet it.
Yeah, but that's why you believe everything.
It's a great job by you, Matthew.
Yeah,
it's a great job by you.
I literally, when it came out, I said, we haven't proven this. I caveated the hell out of it the last time we talked.
We were at the Combine talking about this exact video.
So it's exactly.
You're
like internet.
You're like Dustin Hoffman in All the President's Men.
Exactly
You're just kind of journalistic investigation.
Exactly right. Yeah.
I like that that's your clarifier. I'm not actually a journalist, so you can't hold anything I say against me. It's really good in this business.
We're going to get into that in a little bit.
Yes,
that's right. That's right. But, I will just say this. I am absolutely not a journalist. I don't claim to be. There are people who are also not journalists, but they claim to be journalists. Right. I will just say that. There are... but, no, I am not. I'm not a journalist, and so, yeah, I'm off the hook. Don't believe anything I say.
Where's Justin Fields going to go?
We're running out of. We're
Raiders.
But Getsy's there.
Yeah,
and that seemed like a disaster this year.
Steelers. Yeah, it feels like there is this weird kind of musical chairs of quarterbacks, and who's going to end up with Russ and Fields and Cousins, and someone's going to be left holding, the Mason Rudolph bag.
Here's what's more interesting. Doesn't it feel like we're now trending with Fields that he's going to go somewhere where he's not guaranteed to be the starter? Yeah. Which in fantasy, for a guy that was QB9 last year, that is a massive, massive impact.
Could he, if, I'm making it up. All right. Vikings, Russ goes to Pittsburgh. Vikings lose Kirk, he goes to Atlanta. Vikings decide to sign Baker Mayfield.
He's going back to Tampa. But, I think he's going. Yeah,
I think he's going back to Tampa. But could Justin Fields wind up in either Minnesota or Tampa Bay if Baker goes to the Vikings?
Would be a sleeper. Tampa would be a sleeper for sure. They'd have to lose Baker, which would be a huge shock. Especially with Evans back now, it feels like they have a plan.
I agree, but Baker. We talked to Baker Mayfield. I did the definitive Baker Mayfield interview along with Jake Croucher.
I was going to say, we did it. Baker had to wait for me on the set.
You had to run back from
and he wasn't
us
upset
getting
about
food.
It. Yeah,
I know.
We were getting Chunky Monkey acai bowls from the place in Vegas.
Well, you thought you were.
Yeah, we thought we were.
You got to call Jay. You got to hustle back. Anyway, so it was mostly me. I carried it. Let's be clear, because you still had food on your mind. But you and I did the definitive Baker Mayfield interview. When we
it's more of an exploratory conversation.
It was an exploratory conversation.
Yeah, to be fair, Baker was sitting on my right, not yours, in the photo, which I cropped you out on
yeah,
Instagram.
Exactly. I was going to say, no one would know because you cropped me out of all the photos. But what Baker said to us, which I thought was, when we asked, hey, what are you looking for in free agency? He says, I want to win. That was his biggest thing. I want to go where I've got the best chance to win. And obviously, if you... kind of Brian Windhorst here for a second, but if Kirk Cousins goes to the Falcons and you're Baker Mayfield and you're sitting there going okay, wait a minute, my path to the NFC South just got a lot harder with Cousins now in Atlanta to everything you just said, but Minnesota's sitting there. I don't know, Detroit's in that division as well, and and Green Bay's coming on too. That's a very tough division as well. But could you say, hey, I got a better shot throwing to Justin Jefferson and playing with the Vikings in a dome than I do staying in Tampa Bay when Dave Canales, the guy that helped resurrect my career, is now in Carolina.
Yeah. I think the thing with Baker is that...
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. He was, 4 teams in 12 months. He's finally got this stability. From our chat with him, he seemed like a guy who was ready to stick around in the South, in the Florida weather. I think his wife's about to have a kid.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's the other thing.
From Texas.
He did say, we asked him, there you go.
Oh,
not crop.
I meant to crop you out. I'm sorry. I meant to crop you out.
I apologize for keeping you in the photo.
Yeah, that's a mistake. It was a strange smile there from Matthew Barry.
Well, that'd be a really good. That was a really good crop opportunity too.
That was
looking
a
at
good
the
crop.
photo.
Yeah, no, there was some width. I'll
look
correct
at your Avi with you and Puka.
Yeah, me and Puka. Yeah, you guys know where to be seen. That's great. Oh, those are some
you
good
replaced
photos.
your children with your with Puka Nacua.
Yeah, Puka Nacua. He's my brother. He's better than my children.
Yeah, I agree.
We love Puka.
By the way,
Yeah,
I agree. I like Puka more than your children as well.
You know what? I actually did a really good move there because Puka, he did that, and so we took 2 photos because Matthew was getting, he would give his phone to Danielle, and I would give my phone. So I'm like, I'm going to try both ways. I'm going to do this in one, and not going to do it in the other, and then just sample it out. Yeah, just move. And then we went with the Shaka.
See, you know what? Hey, can we get a photo, for social, whatever. I'm thinking about the team, thinking about the content, everything like that. Jay's like, how can I F over Barry? Yeah. Exactly. You're much more conniving when it comes to that kind of stuff. Either way, to your point, though, Baker was talking to us off air about just like how his wife's about ready to have a baby, and I was just like, oh, where are you guys? He's like, we're heading back to Tampa. So, right, I mean, like, they live in Tampa. You know what I mean? Like, some quarterbacks live somewhere else in the off season. You know what I mean? Like, I think he has houses elsewhere, but like Tampa's their home at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too, is that we think of these guys as like Madden players or whatever. Like Baker's gonna have a newborn kid, and his wife, I'm sure, wants to stay in the area, and they have their like doctors there and everything. And you have to see doctors a lot when you have a newborn baby and that kind of stuff. I'm sure that all things being equal, he probably wants to be in Tampa.
All right, so moving on to another player where it's.
So we don't know where Justin Fields is going.
We have no idea. Truly, I know.
Maybe he goes to the Giants.
Nobody does.
Actually, I wouldn't mind that because at least he has upside. And there might be something there.
That actually makes more sense.
Let's make that happen. It's just be issue because he's going to get paid, and then Daniel Jones has got $200 million or whatever.
Right, you'd be the 5th-year option when you have that on the books. Daniel Jones comes off the books, so you're just constantly kicking money into quarterback.
Yeah,
but maybe it's not crazy. Speaking of the Giants, Saquon Barkley, another player expected to be on the move.
What about New England? New England says we'll take you taking Justin Fields, and then we're going to take Marvin Harrison at 3.
What have you heard about New England at 3? You think they're just going to take Jaden Daniels?
I've heard that's that pick out of the top 3 has the highest chance for a team to get into.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard it's far from a lock. It's not a lock that Jaden Daniels is there. By the way, far from a lock.
Commanders?
I think Jaden Daniels and Drake May is true 50-50 at number 2.
Okay.
Wow.
So New England.
Do you think Caleb Williams is definite number 1?
Gone.
There's no way.
Gone. Yeah. He might even know it at this point.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
our man Chris Sims, who is running hot after calling C.J. Stroud as the clear best guy last year, had Drake May as number 6. His quarterback rankings.
Yeah, he did have number 6.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels number 2.
So. I assume he had Caleb Williams at 1.
Yep. Yes.
Who did he have at 3? Did he have Bo Nix?
Bo Nix. Yeah, look, you knew that. Wow. You knew that before we even gave you the answer.
Then he had Michael Penix at 4.
Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Drake May.
J.J. McCarthy over Drake May. That's a big call. I like Chris goes out on a limb.
Chris,
see, I would just go.
I have a friend that considers himself an amateur draftnik. You know, like he really studies it. He's not you, but he's a very good bettor, and he actually does very well with NFL draft props. And him and I have a bet that Penix does not go in the first 50 picks. I said Penix does. He's like, no.
He could send the Venmo now to you.
Right. Yeah.
Michael Penix is going in the first 50 picks. He might go in the first 20 picks.
That's what I said to him. And he's just like, no, he's a soft-throwing lefty. He goes once, and this is what my buddy
says. Much like Matthew Berry.
No, this isn't me. I'm just like, he's a, anyway. I was
good for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I wish you looped me in. I would have gone half and half with you to up the ante.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.